What's going on, my beautiful people? How are we doing? We ready for another week of feedback? I need to yawn. I don't know what's happening with my hair, everybody. Just ignore it. I won't ignore it, but you guys should ignore it. Oh, what's up, Dirty Octopus? Alright, let's go. Let's start with Haze falling apart. Minute a total of about 3 hours. The Overthinker quote was added for filler. Sure. Alright, let's listen. Juno sample pack nomad. Okay, dude. Yo, what's up, Evan Scott? Oh, did I jump scare you? Do you have the tab open in the background? Digging the leaf foley. Nice. I think it's cool. I don't know. It feels like a 3-hour track though. Because like you've got the idea here, but not the process that makes it feel like a song. So I would say for me, like this area whole here, the Atmos is great, by the way. The Atmos is really nice, really quality. Just there's not enough movement or like extra stuff. So there's just this quote kind of running in the middle, and then everything stays pretty much the same. Generally, for me, if you can click between two different points 10-15% apart in a track and everything sounds more or less the same sonically, then you've kind of fucked up. There has to be some kind of change in energy or whatever. And I get it, it's like an early demo, but just something to think about with the arrangement is like there needs to be a change from here. All right, you've started adding the lead. But still, it's more or less the same the whole time till we get to your drop. So I would say, like going forward, just like think about your arrangement a little more, because I think it's important to be cognizant of it when you're writing the track, especially. Or at least it's something that's been making a difference for me. It's like being more and more aware of like, okay, cool, like actually, what is going to distinguish these different sections from each other, you know? Like, where are my turnarounds going to be? When am I going to transition? How am I going to get from this thing to this thing? Because the earlier you kind of have that sorted out, funnily enough, the easier the songwriting gets. Kyocon ASMR when? On this microphone? Oh my god. It'd be horrifying. Walking Away featuring Frisky. Me. Why did you... What led you to this name, though? Frisky like the cat food, or... Let's just take a listen.
I walk the old path where our laughter used to flow. With every step, the memories start to glow. A promise made.
Honestly impressed.
Now I'm just a man chasing a fading love. I'm running through the echoes, through the
Oh, it's this track. Let's go.
Chasing the shadow of a loved one's mind. Through the road, maybe lonely. I'll carry the flame. I'll still whisper your name. I walk the old path where our laughter used to flow. With every step, the memories start to glow. A promise made under stars above.
Ooh, that's nice.
Now I'm just a man chasing a fading love. Running through the echoes, through the whisper of past. Holding on to moments I wish that it could lie. With every heartbeat I call out your name, but the silence I answer and nothing feels the same. After daylight fades, I
The vocal makes us so much more cohesive.
This
is really nice now.
loved one's mind. Through the road, maybe lonely. I'll carry the flame. I'll still whisper your name.
Yeah, let's go. That sounds so much better now. Let's fucking go, man.
After daylight fades, I search for a sign, chasing the shadow of a loved one's mind. Through the road, maybe lonely. I'll carry the flame. I'll still whisper your name.
Okay, this is bro, this sounds so good. I need to go back to it. Wow, that's such an eargasm. I love that. Okay, cool. Honestly, the vocals solid. The big thing that jumps out to me is like the mix is a little bit weird on the vocals in the sense that this is something that I'm still like really working on, by the way. And I literally today I was working on this tune and I just was so frustrated because I was like, the vocals just don't pop. And I mean, to be fair, I was comparing it to Sabrina Carpenter, and the lady singing those vocals was just not hitting it the same for obvious reasons. But eventually I just like started doing some comparisons. It was just an EQ problem. Once I fixed it, it was a lot better. This is so cool. Yeah, I really, really like this track. But like the tone on some of these areas is really nice. The S sounds feel like they're really not even crushed, but they just feel like they've been like, is don't have any shape to them. I don't know how to describe it. It just feels like it has this in places where it feels like it should be a much more sibilant S. It feels like a more of a like white noisy type of sound. So sometimes it's a little bit makes it very difficult to comprehend the vocals. Change the color base on. Which one? Also, why? It sounds so good.
Old path where our laughter used to flow. With every step, the memories start to glow. A promise made under stars above. Now I'm just a man chasing a fading love. I'm running through the echoes, through
Like this part sounds really nice as well.
whisper of past. Holding on to moments I wish that it could last. With every heartbeat, I call out your name, but the silence ends.
Really easy trick, by the way, to get your vocal EQ right. It's too bubbly. I think that's the whole point, though. Yeah, I don't think you can really change it, the bubbly sounds, because those are like really core part of the identity. And personally, I just like that it's different. I think it sounds really cool. Yeah, the really easy trick to get your vocal EQ right: find an acapella that's preferably in the same key of like a really good pop tune. So it could be like AI stem isolation, or if you find like a studio acapella, whatever, right? That's fine as well. But it should be of a really, really good track. Don't take like some like future house song. Like if that's the sound you want, then go for it. But I mean, personally, I usually like going for like Dua Lipa tracks. Find one that's in the same key and has the same sort of general vibe. And then match EQ. So like Ozone's Match EQ. There's a bunch of different Match EQ plugins, but I use Ozone's Match EQ. And then just match EQ your vocal chain, like your main lead vocal chain, to that one. And then you'll kind of figure out like where the EQ is. And I would personally just manually EQ it afterwards, using that as a reference. But that's really nice because you get an idea of like, okay, cool. This is actually where the problem frequencies are, where the frequencies are that I need to boost a lot. Because usually it's just a question of like you're boosting the wrong frequencies. So that's a really easy and much more painless way of figuring out like what you need to do to your vocal. And then, yeah, maybe some like compression and like a little bit of de-essing in places.
And nothing feels the same. As the daylight fades,
But I think once you get the EQ, problem is going to punch through the mix a lot more. And it's going to feel a lot more satisfying. I think the mix overall is a lot better. It feels like the kick maybe is not punching as hard. Something about the kick, like I feel like it's just not, it doesn't have like the drive that I would like for the track, but it's not wrong either. The other thing is this transition. It's still bugging me. You have so many cool color sounds. Just take one or make a new one and just like augment it a little bit and just have like a really cool, just mess around with automation. Just challenge yourself, like in 15 minutes, I'm going to take this one sound, try as many weird automations as possible. And you should have at least something that's interesting, or it'll be horrible and you'll throw it away, but you might get an idea at least of like, okay, cool. Maybe we just need, because it just needs one or two little small sounds in there to make the transition enough. Personally, I'm like, I don't think I've ever gone more ham than I do now on my transitions, where I just pay so much attention to like how those turnarounds have to work. Because in my opinion, that's what separates like good tracks from like really great tracks. I think as Meso said this, like you just want to try to create moments in your tracks, like real moments. And sometimes you do it with melody, but doing it with these transitions is a really, really great way to just stick out from the crowd. Because there's a lot of really good people make really great melodies. Not everyone's paying attention to their transitions. Yo, what's up, Piers? Try AU5 Ultra Comb. Dude, I tried to recreate it one time in FL Studio Patcher for like 2 hours. Whoa, that was painful. But I still gotta try it at some point. Or I gotta see if someone else has like remade it and it's like just yoink it. I just couldn't get the routing to work. It was not making any sense. Yeah, I think that's mostly it. Really, really sick. Let Loose. Let's go. Didn't we hear this already though? I swear we've heard this, because I'm pretty sure this is the same track, but maybe it's not. Yeah, we've heard this before. It's a cool tune though. Funnily enough, a really good example of creating a moment is like these. Like to me, that's an example of like those are the type of moments you want to create throughout your whole track. If your track has like 15, 20 of these like moments, it just feels so special. Here, for example, this is like a great chance to like create a cool moment. Like you're coming out of a really the climax of your track. You want it to feel special and in a way carry that momentum that you've built up into the next section. Yeah, we've already talked about this like 3 weeks in a row. I don't know. I don't really have any more feedback for you. Actually, I'll talk about one thing because it's another chance for me to keep ranting. I'm in a really ranty mood today, so you guys gotta bear with me a little bit. If it's too much, just tell me to shut up in chat, and we'll get moving. We don't have too many tracks, at least as of right now, though. So I feel like I got time to go on. But mostly it's just this static chord sound. So this. The issue with this chord sound is not the chord or it is the sound. The chords are fine. They're chords. The issue is like every single hit of this chord is the same because the sound is in theory fine. The problem is just it's so static. It's just like it's the exact same sound every single time the attack hits of that chord. There's not a single change, so it sounds really, really boring after the first cycle of that chord progression. This is where like I encourage you to like go into your whatever synth you're using this with. If it's a sample, it's more challenging because you have to do all this with post-processing and you have vastly less control. But if it's synth-based, and if it is a sample, by the way, just make a new layer, an additional layer, and do all of what I'm going to say in there. It's just going in and just manipulating like really small parameters and having them move around by noise or with the complicated LFOs, or using other parameters that have some level of randomness to trigger or modify other things. It's mostly just interconnecting a bunch of parameters to each other so that they create an element of like organicness and change. Really what you're trying to get at is you're trying to make sure that every hit is a little bit different. If you're someone like Disclosure, who is a beast but also a little bit crazy, he goes through and he will manually make every single clap unique using like 7 different automations. So he'll go through and change the volume of every single clap hit with an automation, and then he'll go through and change the distortion, and then he'll go through and change all of these different things. He'll shift each one of them around slightly so none of them are on the same timing, and it means that his tracks are unbelievably replayable because it never gets boring. But it's a sample. Yeah, so if it's a sample, then I would just say recreate the chord progression in MIDI, which it sounds like you've probably already done if you're using a similar, at least, chord progression for your drop. Then go through, remake it, and just make a sound and just like play around with it. You may decide, hey, I have one layer, I like this layer already. You know, the easiest way to do this is start off with a preset that you like. You know, all of the sick and sick rate presets are really fantastic for this type of sound, and they're already really good presets to start with. And then go through and like shape it even more, because even those, I feel like there's ways you can make them even more unique and deep. It's just if they went through and did that for every single preset, it would take them twice as long to make a pack, and not really important to everybody. But yeah, that's my 7 cents on the matter. Sound movement. Yeah, pretty much. I think it's so easily overlooked. I think it's so easily overlooked because, well, the sound kind of works. And then you compare it to like really great tunes and you're like, why doesn't my song sound like that? And it's like, well, there's like 100 small decisions that, you know, differentiate this. This is why remakes never sound as good, because in a remake you can't remake you can't recreate all of these tiny little decisions that make the original artist's final product so unique. Neurofunk, but actually funky drop. Okay. Ooh. It's longer than 15 seconds. Let's go. Oh, I love what's going on in this left ear. I mean, still technically in the left ear, but... Wow. That's so cool. Damn, that's so... There's so much going on in there. Okay. I will say, like, here, I love all of the harmony, but it does start to get a little messy, where it starts to feel like there's just tidying up that needs to be done to get all of these things to fit neatly together. Yeah, I feel like some sounds need to have their sustains tightened up a little bit so that you have more room to work with. Because there's so much going on. Sour Patch Kids when Bitter Patch Adults. Yo, it does feel like a Sour Patch Kids. I'm not even joking. That's like perfect. My mind when you eat a bag of Trolli sour worms. Yeah, it does have that feeling. Oh. Until you said it, it didn't occur to me, but... I would also like to hear a little more panning. Mostly here, once you get with these extra little metally type of drums, if you start panning them a little bit, it doesn't need to be like 100%, by the way. It could just be like a little bit of panning, so you're getting more of that separation and movement. It's going to make mixing the rest of the melodic elements a lot easier. Yeah, for some genres, it doesn't work. I do accept that, like, sometimes it's not worth panning the drums, but panning, most important is to pan your accents. Figure out what your accent drums are and then pan those, because that's going to make the whole mix just way easier. Warheads. I haven't had War Kids in like 7 years. Toxic Waste Candy type beats. Toxic Waste Candy sounds so cool, actually. Alright, gang, finna hit the bed. Alrighty. Yeah, it's late for you. You have a good night, man. Appreciate the funky tune. I'll give the feedback, though. So if you want to come back to stream when you wake up, just check it out. Mostly what I was going to say is like the turnarounds from here. Like here, I feel like there's just no separation. We kind of just continue and like all of a sudden a melody has started. I would like a little bit of build somehow into this thing. One, it's going to make these like last 4 seconds of this previous section feel more exciting because you're creating anticipation towards the next thing, so that it makes it feel less boring per se, or less redundant, because it's like, oh, we're building up the anticipation to get to this thing. So I think that's important. And yeah, that muddiness towards the end here. And then I think also just like some EQing out of stuff where you just have to like give your pianos a little more like high mids and stuff, and just making sure that everything kind of is low cut and stuff, so that your bass is like coming through more cleanly, because it does feel like there's just muddiness going on in places. Treachery, Motai. I love these type of cover arts, textural stuff, super cool. Dubstep, Alright, let's take a listen.
I believe that I interpret the will of the Congress and of the people. This form of treachery shall never again endanger us.
What flavor of dubstep are we gonna get here?
You have to understand how things are.
Acid step. Oh, nice fill. There's not even a fill, it drops into a loop.
Hostilities exist. There is no blinking at the fact that our people, our territory, and our interests are in grave danger. With confidence in our armed forces, with the unbounding determination, we will gain the inevitable triumph. So help us God.
Okay. Okay, I see where you're going with this. This is really... Okay, cool. This is so different than a lot of the stuff we get on here, so this is really fun for me to feed back. Okay. Oh my god. Got jump scared. You know, this reminds me of this guy. Where? This guy. I don't know why I'm not following him. He's a fucking beast. This guy makes a lot of his really more... It's more like trap stuff, but I think you would enjoy a lot of this guy's sound design that just feels like... Whoa. I don't know. It's like bubbly and gritty and a little disgusting. Kind of sounds like rust. And lead poisoning in a good way. I think here the big thing with this is like, I feel like the drums are really cool. You really definitely have like a strong identity with how you like to do your drums. But the main like melodic bass sounds in here just need a little more connecting tissue. I definitely know you're going for this like minimal style, which is cool. I just think you need to figure out how you're going to connect all of these pieces together a little more cohesively. Because right now it just feels a little bit like you have like a palette of space that's like only 3/4 of the way filled up to where it needs to be to feel like everything is properly connected and every flow leads into the next flow. The other thing is, if you are going to go for this type of style, every sound needs to be like maximized and like really distorted and compressed and like, and I to me, when I'm thinking about that, I don't mean you need to like destroy the sounds, just that they need to be all equal in terms of how much power they're delivering, despite the fact that they're all different. Because some of these sounds like this is a good sound, you just need to maximize it and get it in like normalized, distorted, and feel as powerful as this sound or this sound. So that's that. And for that, if these are all like presets that are being automated, it may make more sense to bounce all the different automated points once you're happy with them into audio and then finish the processing from there. That way you're not trying to do like 17 different chains of the same thing and whatever. The other thing is like you kind of need a flow switch if you're going to go for this long. Otherwise, I would just say you can shorten it. Because by the time you get to like here, you kind of outlived my attention per se. Like at this point, I'm like, okay, cool. We've kind of been listening to this for like 45 seconds, a minute now. I'm kind of like ready to... This is cool though. I do like the drum fill change.
Founding determination.
I also think the break needs work. Like the break doesn't feel like it's really doing anything. It's just kind of filling space. But to be fair, if this is a new thing you're working on, it makes sense that you're just focused on the sound design. So I'm not trying to hound you for that. Just so you know, like you do need to make this better if you really want to set up the drop in a satisfying way. Yeah, super cool. Super cool. I love getting different type of stuff. Evan Scott and Kinetic Echoes V2. We haven't had an Evan Scott track in a while. It's time for... Oh, this is going to be an emotional journey.
In the silence of the night, I close my eyes. I drift away to a time where we were young and free. The memories we make can never be replaced, but they're slipping through my fingers like sand on the shore. Ooh. We used to laugh and run, chasing dreams in the sun. But now those days are gone, just echoes in my mind. I try to hold on tight, but they slip away like kites. Lost in the vast expanse of time, a love feel left behind. And I'm swimming in these fading echoes, lost in the whispers of what used to be. I hold them in my heart forever, but in reality, they're slipping away from me.
Nice.
They're slipping away from me. They're slipping away from me. They're slipping away from me. They're slipping away from me.
Whoa, nice. Oh, wow.
They're slipping away from me.
Was there a... That works. That works nice.
In the quiet of the night, I hear your voice. Echoes of laughter and this were of our choice. To live without regret, to memories each day. But now those lovely memories fade. We used to laugh and run, chase and dreams.
Whoa, okay.
But now those days are gone, just echoes in my mind. I try to hold on tight, but they slip away like kites. Lost in the vast expanse of time, I long to left behind. And I'm swimming in this fading echoes.
Wow.
Lost in the whispers of what used to be. I hold them in my
I quit. Yeah, me too.
but in reality, they're slipping away from me. They're slipping away from me. They're slipping away from me.
Wow.
They're slipping
Yeah, this
away
build
from
is nice too.
They're slipping away from me.
Wow.
They're slipping away from me. They're slipping away from me. They're slipping away from me.
Peak cinema. Peak cinema. Evan Scott carried. I think I can hear both of you guys in here though. I think that's the cool part. Is it doesn't feel just like an Evan Scott track. I mean, I get what you mean. He's kind of the GOAT, but like, I really hear your sound in here as well. In all of these like detailed parts. This is a really, really nice tune.
The memories you make can never be replaced, but the slip.
The vocal is pretty solid as well. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and glaze the vocal forever because I don't think it's like the coolest vocal that ever exists, but it fits the track really well. And like EQ and tone wise, it's very appropriate.
But now those days are gone, just echoes in my mind.
Like, this is not something for me. If I was listening, that I'd be like, oh no, the vocal is bad. Like, no, sounds good.
Left behind.
Maybe the arrangement here is a little long, where like we're already a minute in here and it feels like
Close my left behind. Good time left and fresh behind.
I don't know. You could maybe trim some of this, and leave this vocal for later. But once you get here, this feels really nice.
They're slipping.
I think I love as well that the amount of variation you have across the whole thing, where you got all of these different. Then we go into this dubstep thing. Then we change again to gun bass. Here, the only thing I'll say is the gun basses are what feel so far like a little bit like they stick out in terms of like they just feel a little weaker in the mix, and you kind of notice you're just like, okay, like the gun basses are cool. It's mostly here. Right, like here, it just feels like you need to make them stereo, to be honest, like just a little bit stereo, and then they're just gonna feel appropriate with everything else. Sorry, I can't spell. No, you casting a spell with this song. Can either. I'm dyslexic. Damn, and I'm tone deaf. We all got something. Damn, that's really it. Otherwise, I mean, just start setting this out. Like, I think once you like maybe if you want to try with the gummies. Oh, I was gonna say as well, this verse, the jump here to here, it's just a lot. It's a lot without some kind of setup. So I would say maybe spend a little bit of time thinking about how you do want to set that up, and maybe just even if it's just like a little bit of reverse reverb and like some really small Foley type of drum fills, or just Foley effects. I was like stuff that's kind of just like giving a cool little bit of effect, you know, the sound of someone putting a phone down or something. It just needs to communicate some kind of change, because otherwise this just comes a little out of nowhere. It sounds great, but it's very out of nowhere. I think in fact it's because it's okay. I'm not gonna say that like no one has ever done this before, but it is definitely abnormal. So you need to set the listener up for it a little bit.
Chasing dreams in the sun, but now those days are gone. Just echoes in my mind.
Also, you have one guitar in the very right ear that is completely dry, and it does stick out a little bit as like it just needs a little bit of like room reverb or something, because it's like this din 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 thing that's just all you hear is like the very, very scratchy top end of this guitar or string, whatever the fuck it is. This Is My Story. Ooh, hell yeah. But super great tune. Start sending it out, to be honest. 14. All right. We're being blessed today. I love all the little automations. Yeah, yours is next, I think. What? What is that lead? These chords are insane, dude. Yeah, okay. Damn. Okay, I see why it's arranged like this. That's definitely one of these like experience type of tracks where you're really meant to like just go from start to finish. Okay, for me, I guess I'll just start with like the length. I think the length is kind of fine. I see why it is the way it is, but I will say around 40 seconds here. This is kind of when my brain started to clock out, and I kind of noticed, I was like, okay, I'm getting bored. So I think if you want to keep it this length, I will say a minute and 40 seconds is a lot. I think by a minute, you probably already have the same amount of effect. I don't know if these extra 40 seconds make as much of a difference, but if you do want to keep it like that, you just need to introduce some kind of new element or make this intro a lot more stripped back. You could even take out this phone element and introduce it here, like at like 30 seconds, and then you're gonna stagger basically your points of interest. This is in fact a really cool way you can arrange a track. As you start off, this is really good if you make a drop first, for example, where you make a good drop and you're like, okay, well, how do I make a track? Instead of making that the first drop, make it the second drop, and then just make the first drop a stripped version of the second drop that you made, and like arrange the track sort of back to front instead of trying to do it front to back. Because already you could just have everything focus really hard on this piano and then build into this atmosphere a little more, because we kind of get dropped immediately into the Atmos, and I think you can let it build up more if you want to keep the length, or if you want to keep that feeling of just getting immediately plopped into this world, then yeah, you just need to create more interest. The other thing that struck me is like this kick beat. Most of the time your kick patterns are so satisfying, and this one just doesn't quite hit it for me. This one for me, I'm like just confused. It's one of those where it's more so I just want to sit and listen rather than like go hard. DMT type beat, stutter DMB bass future trap. You can add a kick and a sweep down on that stuttered pan at the end. True. I feel like it just needs some sort of other rhythm or like clap or something to just separate these kicks, because they just kind of sound, they don't formulate a particularly like satisfying rhythm, which if that's the effect you want to go for, then it achieves that. I'm just saying, if you want something that's a little more approachable or danceable or more like of a bodily experience rather than a mind experience, the kick pattern you might want to fuck around with. But I've listened to tracks before, I'm like, yeah, you're not meant to like feel this track, you're meant to like hear it, and hear it really with your ears and not with your mind, or maybe the other way around, just hear it with your brain, and like it's supposed to make you think rather than feel. But then we get here and it gets really satisfying again, and I'm like, whoa. The chord stuff as well is insane, by the way. It's just super, super dope. As always, I really love this like signature chordy sound you have. It's just really satisfying. Brad Paolo really loves Charlie and Trey and Troy, but it's still Brad. Okay, good lord. My brain trying to read that. That's literally the exact sound that my house phone would make when I was growing up. I did not make any money off this remix.
Hey man, I'm like trying to struggle in peace, trying to do Unit 3 of AP stats. Like life's already hard as it is, and you're here demanding another damn remix? Like Jesus Christ, like ask me that in like my native language. Like talk to me in English, or like praat gewoon met me in Nederlands. Háblame en español. Like Jesus, okay.
I love how it distorts really hard. It sounds like some like a sign distortion where it just hits a thing and it just immediately digitally clips.
You know what? I just have one question.
Are we getting too close? You're leaving things in my head. I'll be honest, you scare me. My life's supposed to be a party. Cause we talk that talk, yeah, we talk all night.
Damn, that's so dancy.
The more I like you. Can you stick with me, maybe just for life? And say what's on your mind, my baby.
Talk to me in French, talk to me in Spanish, talk to me in your own made-up language. Doesn't matter if I understand it. Talk right in my ear, tell me your secrets and fears. But once you talk to me, I'll talk to you and say that we go back to my place.
Okay, here's the plan. I wanna fly you out to Amsterdam. I gotta fly to the
How? It would take me 3 hours to get anything close to this bass line.
Thinking about me. No, don't pretend that you aren't. We're still obsessed like we just met. And when you fuck me, it's crazy. You're thinking about me. Cause we talk that talk and we talk all night. And the more I know you, the more I like you. Can you stick with me, maybe just for life? And say what's on your mind,
my baby.
to me in French, talk to me in Spanish, talk to me in your own made-up language. Doesn't matter if I understand it. Talk right in my ear, tell me your secrets and fears. But once you talk to me, I'll talk to you and say, shall we go back to my place?
Okay, here's the plan. I wanna fly you out to Amsterdam. I gotta fly to fuck you. I wanna
That just hits, dude.
come see me. We can flash with the time. Put your arms around me.
Shall we go back to my place? To me in French, to me in Spanish,
Super sick. Nice.
let's do it again. Shall we go back to my place? Let's do it again. Shall we go back to my place?
Hell yeah. The only feedback I have is like this thing is annoying.
I'll be honest, you're scared.
30 seconds of like you yapping is a little much. If it was like 10 seconds, I wouldn't mind. But like it's gonna be annoying to listen to because you have to like.
It's okay. You know what?
Be honest, you're scared.
It is funny. It is a little funny, but like it'll be not so funny the 10th time you have to listen to it. That's my only feedback. Is like in future you got to be a little more snappy with the straight talking, or you add jazz piano under it, and then it's a lot easier and funnier actually. Aloy Fajardo. All right, let's go. Pierre's on ID. Oh, nice. Good power. Ah. That's so cool. This hits hard, like. It's weird when I listen to like Future Bounce now. I'm like, I realize I'm like, I would have no idea how to make this. Like, I could never make this ever. Like, maybe not ever. I'm sure I could get good, or as though I was good at Future Bounce. I'm sure I could learn how to make Future Bounce again, but just, I don't know. To me, it's such like a weird artifact of my past. I'm just like, yeah, I have no idea. But this break is cool. I guess this, for me, this build is just kind of like I'm missing moments. Like here, we need some, like some kind of something to mark the transition into, hey, we're going, we're like leading into something cool. But it's good, yeah. That kind of sucks. I really wish I could give you more feedback than just, I don't know, man. That would be cool, but unfortunately, I ain't got much else for you. It'd be really good if you had like a question specifically that I could answer, and then it'd be like, okay, yeah, I can answer this question for you. All right. Matt Hansen, let him go. Oh yeah, for sure finish the arrangement, by the way. Like the next thing you should do is like finish the arrangement. Get the complete arrangement, and then you can start thinking about vocals and stuff, because it's important. I'm gonna skip the extended mix.
Trying to fight the feeling deep inside your heart, you know it isn't what it was. Anxiety is growing like fog over the ocean. Hoping, wishing, praying that it's gone when you get up. You can try to wrestle with the mirror, but the
Okay, nice.
can't be any clearer than that. You've been fighting it off just like a fever, but there's no use holding it back.
The vocal mix is a bit weird though. It's like very quiet. Okay, cool. The transition's weak though. Back to it.
You don't hurt anymore. You could try to wrestle with the mirror, but the truth, it can't be any clearer than that. You've been fighting it off just like a fever. There's no use holding it back. Sometimes you need the rain to know you miss the sun. Sometimes you need the pain to know it isn't
That's a nice vocal though. I like the lasers. Okay, here's my thoughts. Overall, I think you did a pretty cool remix. The breaks are weirdly quiet. Like it just sounds like you've taken the master output and then just lowered it by like 7 dB or something. Although the hat loop sounds quite loud comparatively to everything else. So, but I think you really nailed like a good style for it. I guess the big things that I'm gonna go on is like the fills here. You have the like sound, which is fine, but there's really nothing else that like again creates like a cool moment. If you figured out how to make like a weird, cool, flashy moment in this fill, it just makes, when you then return to this main motif here, it makes it much richer because you've kind of added some contrast or some deviation. Like you've done something else for a second. You've given your ears something else to pay attention to, something that's contrasting, a little bit different. And so then once you return to the main motif, it feels just a bit fresher and it feels a bit more exciting. No fuck, I didn't submit. Well, I barely had a solid idea. I'll be out a good time listening to bangers. Raise my message didn't send. I said it didn't submit. I mean, I saw it just now. Rip, no Green Dragon submission. You missed a couple of really good bangers, by the way. From Evan Scott and from Walkus, like Bowtie, like everybody had bangers. Oh, bro, the Dirty Octopus one was really, really cool as well. Real funky neuro to be. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is like the transition out of here. This is really all I've been talking about today. It's just like transitions and moments and arrangement. But like here, what's that? What's going on? Like. You see how there's like a lot of change here? You need to like bridge that somehow. You have like a da-da-da-da-da, and then you just kind of slammed in the next part of the arrangement without having any connective tissue. I'll check back. Sure. If you'd like. I always forget that people can like watch these afterwards. I forget that I could watch them afterwards. I could VOD review my own streams. To be fair, it would be kind of funny to feedback my own feedback stream. Anyway, that's kind of like the main stuff, because I think the main sounds are all cool. The kick, maybe, I feel like could have used a punchier top kick. Because it has this like nice thump to it, but I'm missing the punch to match. You have so many like laser sounds and like fairly punchy, like punchy clap and stuff. Would have been nice to have a top kick for just a kick on its own, so that it's hitting on equal footing with everything else in the mix. But that's kind of it. I don't think we got any submissions right now, do we? I think that was the last one. Okay, alrighty. That is it, everybody. I am gonna go and eat some food now, because it is dinner time. Dinner time. It's time for me to eat. It's time for food. Ooh. Bye bye. What the fuck is that voice? I honestly don't know. I think it's technically a Stitch impression, like from Lilo and Stitch. I don't know. I used to get bored as a kid, so I'd do a bunch of like weird impressions of different characters. I try to get like close to them. As one does. I'm sure I'll use it to make some tunes eventually, like to make some funny samples. Yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys again next week. I think it'll be around next week. Yeah. Should do. We'll see. But yeah, until then, have a fantastic week and goodbye.